Hi friends, today we discuss another important topic in the international law, that is the law of the sea. So as we well aware that entire globe is consisting of the soil and the water. Water occupies 2/3 of the total geography of the earth, whereas soil is only 1/3. So earlier in 17th and 18th century, there was not much demand is there for the sea, because at that time less advancement of the sciences and going into the sea is a difficult task. So that is the reason states have not given much concentration to the sea or sea waters. And as we know that there are 5 important oceans are there in the world. The biggest is the Pacific Ocean, also be called as the Fire of Rings. The second is Atlantic Ocean. It is named after the Atlantis mountains in Africa. Third is the Indian Ocean, which is in shape of M. And fourth is the Southern Ocean. And fifth is the Arctic Ocean. So these are the 5 important oceans. In addition to these 5 important oceans, we have 27 seas are there in the world, Bering Sea to 27 seas, and there are 20 states are there, and there are 15 big lakes are there in the world, and there are 16 Gulf bays also been there in the world. So that is the reason the world is covered by 2/3 of the water. But there should be a regime to control this. So with that view, just I told you that in 16th, 17th and 18th century or 19th century, not much emphasis is laid upon the sea waters or sea territories. But when we made advancement in science and technology, and also when the day by day the resources which are there on the mass area of the earth globe is day by day depleting, and the man has seen that there is a abundant wealth is there in the oceans, in the sea waters. So he started claim upon the sea water or sea resources. So with that view, the first time in 1949, a discussion was taken place in the General Assembly that we should make a legal regime of the law of the seas. So basing upon that, there is a special rapporteur was appointed. His name was Francis. So he made a lot of efforts for bringing a legal regime, and finally in 1958, the United Nations Law of the Sea Conference was opened on 24th of February 1958. It was there up to 27th of the April 1958. So that is called as a first UNCLOS in UNCLOS, UNCLOS. So in the UNCLOS, certain committees were constituted by the participating parties. Those committees include the first committee, which lays emphasized upon the territorial sea, and its regime. Then second committee has taken up the task of high seas. What extent a high seas should be there, or international seas should be there. Third committee is concentrated upon the high sea fishing, conservation of the living resources, how to exploit the high seas and how to conserve the living resources which are there in the high seas. And fourth committee has basically focused upon the continental shelf, where we see lot of resources, lot of polynodules are there in the continental shelf areas. Henry Truman, who first propounded the theory of continental shelf, so his efforts have been paid off in the fourth committee. Then fifth committee is constituted and has studied the matters pertaining to the questions of free access to sea of landlocked countries. And what about the landlocked countries? Those countries who don't have the sea coast. Those are the non-literal states. And what are the rights of those countries? That has been discussed in the the UNCLOS of 1958. And meanwhile, the second UNCLOS conference was conducted in 1960, and after that there is a Malta, a small country in the Mediterranean Sea. There one man called the Pardo, Ambassador Pardo of Malta. He emphasized that we should regulate the seabed authorities and how the seabeds have to be exploited. Till then we don't have any law. So he advocated there should be a authority should be there, and basing upon his arguments, even the matter was, the ad hoc committee was constituted, and the General Assembly also took up the matter, and there is a seabed authority regime has been laid. And in 1973 to 80, that period is called as where there is a third conference on the United Nations Law of the Sea was conducted. And in this conference, there is a seabed committee was constituted, and the committees held its deliberations in New York from December 3rd to December 15th of 1973, and 12 sessions were conducted, and there were lot of debate took place, and ultimately we have accepted there should be a seabed authority should be there. And in third conference, which has happened in the 1982, where happened in up to 1980, but it has been extended, and there is a UNCLOS 1982 was accepted, United Nations Law of the Sea of 1982. It is a very, very comprehensive document consisting of everything. matters pertaining to the all the issues of the sea, and it was signed in 1982, and it came into force after ratification of the 60 countries, and it came into force from the June on 16th of November 1994. So up to 2016, there are 167 countries have been subscribed to this conference, this Montego Bay Jamaican Conference. So this is the brief matters of the law of the sea, and in coming classes we discuss in detail. So here these conferences, UNCLOS conferences, have been played very important part, but we have to accept that in last conference of 1982 conference, the powerful nations, the America, it has boycotted the conference. It is very unfortunate. But whereas European Union has subscribed to the conference, and the other side, America was boycotted this conference because it is some against provisions have been inserted against the America. And we see further in next video.